guys, I'm back, and today I thought I would do a trip recap video on my recent trip to Disney World. Now, we were there for 7 nights. We stayed for 2 nights at Pop Century and then in a preferred room, and then we stayed for 5 nights in an outer building club level room, standard club level room at the Grand Floridian, and that is in the Sugarloaf building. Now, I just filmed a video doing a Pop Century review, and I had done a Pop Century room tour, I did a Grand Floridian room tour, and then I've previously done a Grand Floridian review, I think, pretty sure. So I am not going to talk about the hotel portions here. I'm going to talk more about the rest of the trip, I guess. So let's see. When we were at Pop Century, we relied on our car, and when we were at the Grand Floridian, we took the monorail to the Magic Kingdom, and we took the monorail to Epcot once, but other than that, we drove the rest of the time. Anyway, okay, so let's see, what do I want to talk about? Let's talk about restaurants first, because I really like food. So in Epcot, we ate at, I can't think of the name, oh my gosh. We'll have to pop it in here. It's the sit-down restaurant in the Japan Pavilion. It's not hibachi. It's the regular sit-down restaurant. It was great. I really, really enjoyed it. And did we eat anywhere else in Epcot? No, we did not. We only quick service other than that. Let's see, where did we eat in Hollywood Studios? In Hollywood Studios, we ate at the Sci-Fi Dine-In theater, and it was very good. We've eaten there before. I really like it. My husband and I, okay, so you're sitting in a big car, and each seat will hold 2 people. I suppose if they're really small kids, they might put 3, but it seems like each seat will hold 2 people. So we were in the last seat. There's like 6 people in a car, I think, and if I recall. So we were in the last seat. So there were, like, it was a group ahead of us of 4 people, 2 and 2, that we didn't know, but I mean, it wasn't a problem at all. You just kind of talk quieter because there are like short films going on. But yeah, it was, I don't remember what I ate there other than we shared an Oreo milkshake, and it was fantastic. It really, I think, satisfied my urge to live in the 50s and do something like that and like share a milkshake with my husband. It was cute. We took a picture. Maybe I can see if we can put the picture in, but yeah, I thought that was really fun. So that's where we ate at Hollywood Studios. Okay, at Magic Kingdom, we had dinner at Be Our Guest restaurant, and we had eaten dinner there once before, and we were in the main dining room. Now this time we were in the West Wing with the Rose, and that was very cool. It was really loud when it would thunder. It was very loud, but when it was thunder, they have a picture of the Beast as a prince on the wall. Just like from the movie, they have like a piece of fabric covering it, and you can see where he tore it. So you can kind of see through the tears on there. And every time it would thunder, the picture would transform from the prince into the Beast for a second in the back, so that was pretty neat. Our waiter was great. He told us lots of fun facts about the restaurant, like the chandeliers are imported from Italy. The kids painted on the ceiling in the main dining room area were the Imagineers that worked on that project as children. The back of the main dining room area has snow falling out the window, and they said that that is actually the snow from the movie. It's the same projections as the exact snow from the movie. We were asking him, the Beast was there, he walked through the castle once, and then he was in, like, you could go take pictures with him. We were asking him about hidden Mickeys, where are the hidden Mickeys, and that was fun. He's like, well, the only official one is, and he told us that. But yeah, he was great. And then, let's see, at Animal Kingdom, we did not do a sit-down. We only did quick service. We ate at Restaurantosaurus, which I'd never eaten at, pleasantly surprised. Okay, so Magic Kingdom, they let us in early. So we were not, I think we did Magic Kingdom morning 2 times, and both times we were not out front waiting for the welcome show like we have in the past. They let us in, and then they have you waiting kind of around the hub to enter into the lands, and they, you know, won't let you go in until the park opens. And then when the park opens, they walk you so far so that people are, you know, it's just not a mass running of the bulls stampede. So that was a little bit different. The only people that they would let in were if they had a reservation at one of the restaurants. So everybody, we were going into the Liberty Square area, kind of just to the left of the castle. So a lot of people were in that area trying to go to Be Our Guest restaurant, and then for their breakfast quick service reservations. So the cast members were telling them where they had to go to check in. But those were the only people allowed to go further than we were. Okay, so we did that both mornings. That was different. We saw Happily Ever After, and this was great. We were in Tomorrowland, and we were walking out of Tomorrowland toward the castle, and Happily Ever After was just about to start. And when you're leaving Tomorrowland, you can either go straight across the bridge, in which case you'll see the castle on the right, or you can turn left, and there is Tomorrowland Terrace restaurant, yes, is ahead. So and then you'll see like all these big rocks and stuff, and there's like a little lake there. So we went left, and I discovered there were no people by those big rocks, and we had a pretty good view of the castle. So I'm like, let's stop here and watch. So we did not wait. I mean, the people waiting on Main Street are there for over an hour. So, I mean, yes, they have like prime seating, prime viewing of the castle for the projections and the fireworks, but they're waiting for over an hour. So this was great because we didn't wait for more than 10 minutes. There was nobody there. Some people did come later, but we were the first ones there, and it still wasn't terribly crowded. So we watched the projections and then Happily Ever After. We could see almost all of the projections. The only really negative to that was, well, I guess there are two things. One is we could hear some of the stuff going on in Tomorrowland, and it would kind of like drown out what they were saying in the music and stuff from Happily Ever After. But it wasn't terrible, and it wasn't constant. And then the other thing was the fireworks. We could see almost all of them, but you're not looking at the castle straight on, so they're like they're not centered, I guess. So some of them we couldn't see, but overall, I would totally do that again. What we could see, given how long we waited, total win. I would definitely do that. We did see Happily Ever After one other time when we were at Narcoossee's at night, and they have everybody go outside, and I mean, I imagine if you don't want to, they won't make you, but they had everybody go outside on their deck to watch the fireworks, and then when you come back, then they bring you your food. So that was kind of cool. And Narcoossee's is at the Grand Floridian, if you didn't know. So that was the fireworks at the Magic Kingdom. Now, Hollywood Studios. Okay, what we will do differently. I think I'm only gonna go to Hollywood Studios once in February instead of 2 or 3 times. There's just not enough to do there for us right now. Now, they do have the Star Tours, which we don't do because I get very motion sick, so I don't do the sit down, watch the screen move simulator type ride, which with the exception of Avatar, which I will address in a minute. But yeah, we went on Toy Story and Tower of Terror and Rock and Roller Coaster, and we did like I said, we went twice, and we did Tower of Terror and Rock and Roller Coaster, I think each, and I think Toy Story. I think we did all of them twice. We arrived late, but we did see the Beauty and the Beast stage show. But other than that, I don't think we did anything else at Hollywood Studios, and we had gone twice. So it was just, I don't think it's necessary for us right now, unless you want to do absolutely everything, which I was okay with not doing. You know, I was okay with not doing the Muppets. It's cool. If you've never been, I suggest doing it. It's cute. But since we have seen it so many times, I didn't feel like we had to. Now, they closed the Great Movie Ride as well, and the first time we were there, they still had the sign up for the Great Movie Ride, but then the second time they had taken it down as they're transforming it into the Mickey and Minnie's, is it Runaway Railway, I think is the name of it? So yeah, that's something we're gonna do differently. I think in February, we're just gonna go once to Hollywood Studios. And then in the next time we go after that, next summer, Toy Story Land is going to open. So I think we will probably go twice then because that is going to be very popular. We did see the track for Slinky Dog Dash that was being built as we were driving by, and my husband was driving, so he's like, oh, what did it look like? And I had said that I thought it was going to be, I mean, you only see the artist renditions thus far, right? So I was kind of wondering, okay, is this going to be like the Barnstormer in Magic Kingdom, which is more of a children's ride, or is it going to be more similar to Seven Dwarfs Mine Train? And so he'd asked me what I thought after I saw the track. I'm like, the tracks for both of those rides, for Seven Dwarfs and the Barnstormer, with no cars or theming around them, I think they would look very similar. They're not, neither of them are like thrill roller coasters, or, there's no like huge drops, or, well, I guess probably Seven Dwarfs a little bit more. But there's nothing terribly thrilling, I would say, if you're just looking at the track. There's no upside down loops or corkscrews or anything like that. So that gave me nothing. I'm not sure. I haven't read that if they have announced exactly what the roller coaster Slinky Dog Dash is gonna be like, but after riding Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and knowing that the individual cars on the roller coaster rock individually side to side, I was wondering if Slinky Dog Dash is going to be a roller coaster where the individual cars move independently of each other this way as the whole car moves, based on the scene toward the end of Toy Story when the Slinky Dog is trying to help Buzz and Woody on RC. He's like out of the back of the car and he's stretching, and then he would like catch up. So I'm kind of wondering if that's what they're gonna do, but I haven't seen anything official. So unfortunately I had absolutely no idea based on that, but it was cool to see the track being built. Now at Epcot, we had a horrible experience with morning extra magic hours. Horrible. So okay, the rides that are open for morning extra magic hours that we do are Test Track and Soarin'. Now, Mission Space is also open. I mean, there might be like one or two others open, but I mean, we don't do those. So Mission Space is also open. I can't do Mission Space because of the motion sickness, right? So our two main rides at Epcot morning extra magic hours are Soarin' and Test Track. Now, we went right to Soarin', and the line was crazy long, like up the stairs, around the whole, I mean, it was crazy. I've never seen it like this. And they were not letting people in right away. Like, this is ridiculous. Why aren't we letting people in? I'm like, forget it, let's go to Test Track, right? So we walk across the park to go to Test Track, and we say, we'll do Test Track and then come back, and hopefully by then they're letting people into Soarin', and the line will be shorter, right? We get to Test Track, and that is down, and they're not letting people in. And the line's crazy long. So then we go back over to Soarin', which I know, like, just stay put, right? Okay, so we go back to Soarin'. The line was even longer now, and was still not moving. It eventually, I mean, we just stayed there at that point. And then it did start to move after not that long. And we heard that there was not a problem with the ride with Soarin', but the problem was with the something happened with the building and they couldn't let people in the line. I don't know. So we ended up waiting, which I've never waited that long for a ride for morning extra magic hours. It was less than a half an hour, but I was still shocked. But that was really disappointing. It was disappointing to me that because they have so few rides open during morning extra magic hours and so few rides that are very popular during morning extra magic hours, that the cast members could not have communicated with one another, so that when the cast member at Soarin' came out and told us that there was a problem, that there was a delay, that she couldn't have said, by the way, there's also a delay at Test Track, because a lot of people got out of line at that point. So that was very disappointing. That being said, I don't know, and Epcot is my favorite evening park. I don't know that I'm gonna do morning extra magic hours at Epcot. I don't know anymore. We'll have to think about that. But that really isn't it was a bad experience. And that experience aside, I think it's the least, if you have fast passes for Soarin' and Test Track, I think it's the least worthwhile, in my opinion, for morning extra magic hours. So again, aside from what's going on at Hollywood Studios now. So that was a disappointment. So we did Soarin', and then we did Test Track. Did we? No, I think we had a fast pass for Test Track the previous time we were there, so we just skipped Test Track that time, because by then the line was long. And we're like, you know what, we're gonna do Soarin', we're gonna go to Starbucks and get a drink and sit down, because we're crabby, and like, we shouldn't be crabby because we're at Disney World, right? Like, even like delays at Disney World are still better than, you know, being at home and work and whatever. So we had our Starbucks, we regrouped, I put myself in timeout, and then we went on with our day, and it was fun. Now that day we also got in line for Frozen Ever After. We did not have a fast pass. The line, I don't remember how long we waited. It wasn't terribly long, because most of World Showcase doesn't open until 11, but because of the popularity of Frozen Ever After, they're opening earlier. I have to say, I've had negative reviews. I've given negative reviews of Frozen Ever After previously. I was pleasantly surprised this time. Now, the reason I was pleasantly surprised is because I think there were things that were not working last time we were there, which is extremely disappointing because the last time we were on it was, it was new. I mean, it was less than a year old. Like, why are things not working? So, way less than a year old. I think it was even less than 6 months old. But I think Elsa, my husband remembers Elsa not working. I don't remember that. But when you're going backward in the boat, I don't remember all of the, like, the snow on the ceiling, or the sky. I don't remember that last time, and they had that this time, and that was very impressive. It blew me away. Still not a thrilling ride, but it was much better this time when I think there were things that weren't working last time that were working this time and made a pretty big difference. So that was a very pleasant surprise as well. And, oh, lastly, okay, Animal Kingdom. I wanted to talk about Animal Kingdom. So I had a very good plan, I have to say. Pat myself on the back. I had a very good plan, which was people are going to run, and I do mean run, when the park opens to Avatar Flight of Passage. So everybody, okay, not everybody, but you know, most people are gonna go to Pandora since that's newest, and they have 2 rides and they're both open during morning extra magic hours. Now when you book your fast passes, you can only book your fast pass for one of those 2 rides per day. So they have Avatar Flight of Passage and Navi River Journey. So my thinking was, I'm going to book a fast pass for Avatar Flight of Passage, which I did, and then for morning extra magic hours, we headed straight to Navi River Journey when everybody else was going to Flight of Passage. That being said, we only did each ride once, but we were fine with that. But we were on the first boat for Navi River Journey. It was really cool. They did an amazing job. My husband was just blown away by it. For me, I don't think it's a must-do every trip, honestly. It was very cool. I thought they did a really good job with it, but and seeing like all of the, I don't even know what they are, like all the bioluminescent things was very, very cool. But I'm not like this massive Avatar fan, so you know, I don't have to do it every trip. But if my husband wants to, I'm totally game for it. It was very neat. Now, we did Flight of Passage, like I said, with a fast pass. And thank goodness, because the line was 2 hours, I believe, when we went. On a later day, we had our fast pass. So the line was 2 hours long. We still waited in line for the fast pass. It had to be at least 20 minutes. So we did not see the regular standby line for Flight of Passage. What we saw as we were going by, the outside portion was really cool. It was very, very neat. Blew me away. The inside portion, not so much. Okay, so here's what I didn't like about Flight of Passage. Even with the fast pass, we had to wait a long time, which not surprising because even if you have a fast pass, the longer the regular line, the longer you're gonna have to wait because they don't just let you right on. You know, they still mix you in with the standby line guests. So we finally get to the point where they're like, okay, how many? Okay, you go in this line, right? Then you go in this room and they give you the spiel about how you're going to be assigned an avatar. This spiel was so long and lengthy. I mean, like, wordy. It was so confusing to me, and I saw the movie. I'm like, I think they're trying to make it so that people who haven't seen the movie can understand. And I think they did an okay job in that regard. But it was ridiculous how long, and I think it was that long to probably distract you from how long you're waiting in line. But it was irritatingly long, I thought. And then they kept saying like that they were having computer issues as part of like this spiel, but I think that they like integrated that because maybe there were real issues with the ride. I'm not sure. So then we finally get in to get on the ride. Now, like I said, I get motion sick. I wanted to try this ride at least once. I took a less drowsy Dramamine. I should have taken 2. Now it says you can take 1 to 2. I took 1. Lesson learned, I should have taken 2. So when you get into the ride where you actually like get on, they have these cubbies in the back for you to put your things, which no problem, I did. They give you your glasses, your 3D glasses. Mine fit really weird. Considering you're like leaning down, I was always afraid they were gonna fall off, but the ride was surprisingly long. I was pleasantly surprised by how long the ride was. You go in and you sit down on, it's almost like a motorcycle type of thing, like a seat, and then you lean forward, and then you have this seat that the back like kind of pushes against your back. I mean, not hard, you're not like super tight. And then you have these leg restraints. So if you're really claustrophobic, that could be an issue. But you're sitting down, you have your glasses on, and then like you instantly dive into the movie, and I go like this because like you're leaning down. So, okay, what was cool, you could feel you're on the back of a Banshee. You could feel the Banshee breathing on your legs, and that was really cool. So it was, you know, kind of like going like this. The scenes that I could watch were very, very cool. I could only watch the ones that were like straight on, so where you're going like straight. I could watch if you're going like down, but no left or right kind of thing, because then it was too dizzying. Based on the reactions of everybody around me, it sounded really great. What I saw was really cool. But yeah, if you're prone to motion sickness, well, depending on how bad it is, you could either skip it, or if it's something you really want to do, I recommend taking a less drowsy Dramamine. Like I said, I did 1, it wasn't enough. I should have done 2. I got off and I was feeling like really, I didn't like throw up or anything, but I was feeling really messed up for like an hour after that. You know, like all dizzy and kind of out of it, but it was cool to see. The actual like land of Pandora and all of the theming around it, very cool. The big floating rock, very cool. They did a fantastic job with it. I thought even the bathrooms, they did a really neat job with. I was impressed. Unfortunately, the day we were there late, it still wasn't dark enough to see, which I really wanted to, because the ground is supposed to be lit up with bioluminescent flora. We didn't see that, so that was kind of disappointing. Hopefully when we're there in February, it should be getting dark earlier, so we should be able to see that then. We're gonna plan on doing that. But yeah, it was, Pandora is very cool. But yeah, those were our experiences with Flight of Passage and Navi River Journey. And I would do that, moving forward, I would totally do that again, if we decide to do it. But yeah, it wasn't, you know, fast pass for Avatar Flight of Passage and head right to Navi River Journey right at park opening. Later, it's gonna be too long of a line. But yeah, that was a basic trip recap. I can't think of anything else I want to talk about. If I do, I suppose I could always make another video. But yeah, that was our trip. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.